no one seems to notice me. Isn't it a sin? What a crazy world we're living in. How's your father? How's your father? Brown bread.
Hello, boys and girls, only me again. Okay, another little rant this time, actually. Those of you that know me sort of reasonably well will know that I've got quite a strong view on modern education, or actually the absence of it for about the last 20 years. Something has happened in these last few days that I think is absolutely vile and disgusting, yet very indicative of the sort of people that we've got running our schools. Pointless, woke millennials who no doubt have got an education, but they have got zero common sense and zero respect. Have a look at this prick here. This is Mr. Hill. He's a headmaster of I think it's an infants and primary school up in East Yorkshire, and he has decided, he took it upon himself after a former pupil. Why he's taking advice from former pupils is completely beyond me. He's taken it upon himself to change all of the house names, getting rid of all the fantastic historic figures, people that have earned their place, and replace them with, I'm going to say 3, because actually one of the people that he's picked I could actually go along with. But he has decided that it is right and fitting that the house names are going to be changed to, I'm just going to glance at my screen over here, Greta Thunberg, grimacing thumbnail. Why? She's a child with a mental condition and attention-seeking parents. She's a non-entity. Why? Amanda Gorman. Amanda Gorman is somebody that read something at Biden's inauguration. Again, why? She's achieved nothing. Biden's inauguration was an embarrassment. I know there's plenty of people who go, oh, what a wonderful thing that we got rid of Trump. But it was quite amusing that very few people turned up. I noticed that Garth Brooks put in an appearance, probably because nobody else wanted him anywhere else. Who else has he picked? Marcus Rashford. Another completely pointless, overpaid footballer who opened his gob about free school meals. Stick your hand in your pocket, Marcus, and cough up a few quid if you're that worried about it. Tight-fisted pillock. The fourth one, I have to say, is Malala Yousafzai, I think is how they pronounce that name. This young lady, still in her early 20s, some of you will remember, survived an assassination attempt in Pakistan. The Taliban, up to their usual tricks, because she's an activist. She speaks out for women's rights, particularly women's rights to education, and risked her life to further that end. She's also the youngest ever winner, I believe, of the Nobel Peace Prize. So yeah, I can sort of concede a little bit there that maybe that was a worthy change. We'd have to have decided which one we was going to bump in order to name one of the houses after her. But the other 3, please, you need to have a look at what you... I thank God that all of my kids are now grown up. When I was their worst nightmare. My kids were at school before the government decided that they was going to actually dictate how we raised our children. So I didn't take any nonsense from schools. It was my kids had one set of rules, and they were my rules. And under no circumstances would I ever allow a school to override that. And I wouldn't be any different now. So I would probably be in all sorts of bother getting fined left, right and centre, and probably sent up the road to have a little holiday at Her Majesty's pleasure. But the bottom line is this: we wonder why kids are out of control, and it's because there are too many standards. Yes, we've got some pretty poor parenting going on at the moment. People having kids when they're only kids themselves, losing interest in it, too interested in getting themselves drunk or shooting something up their router or smoking dope. There's a reason why they call it dope, by the way. If it was that good, they'd call it smart, wouldn't they? But I digress. In my day, I can remember a very classic situation when Aaron was 5 and we was going to take him to Disneyland in Florida. And my wife at the time, who I have to say would probably have had a little dribble over this Mr. Hill prick, but there you go. She got this form from the school and got me to fill it in. And I was looking at this form. I remember it distinctly. It was a yellow piece of paper. And at the top, it said holiday request form. And there was some little paragraph in it about getting it in as early as possible so that they could consider our request for Aaron to come out of school. So I didn't fill it in, and I used to take Aaron to school in those days. So I took him to school, and I went into the office, and I put this piece of paper back onto the secretary's desk. I said, "You give me the wrong form, darling." She said, "Sorry, what was it you needed?" I said, "Well, this is a form asking for permission. I need the form where I'm telling you when I'm taking him out of school, because I don't need your permission. I'm taking him away for a holiday. He's 5 years old, and I will decide when he's going and when he ain't. So unless you've got one that says these are the times when I'm taking my child out of school, then I'm not filling this in, because I ain't asking your permission about how I'm going to bring my kid up." If you can imagine that sort of thing happening now, they'd be fining me left, right and centre. But that's how I was. Now we've got, not only is the government too involved in our kids' education, now we've got complete and utter arseholes like this Hill character who wouldn't be out of place in a football hooligans meeting. Look at the state of him. I mean, Jesus Christ. There is no doubt in my mind that if he'd have been headmaster at Aaron's school back in those days, me and him would have been doing 15 rounds round the playground, and I guarantee you he would have lost, because he's a pillock, a complete and utter pillock. But that's the state of the education now. Watch this space, because I've got lots to say about the modern education, or non-education system as I tend to call it. But remember this pillock's face, because there's going to be loads of him running your schools wherever you live. See you later.